Hello, sports fans. We are ready for week number 4 in the league where they play. For pay! And let's get right to it. It was a wild week in the NFL last week. Let's get right to the NFL Week 4 picks, and let's start with a real dandy of a game. Let's go to the Mile High City in Denver, Colorado, where the Denver Broncos are minus 2.5 against the Oakland Raiders. Denver 2-0, lost to Buffalo. We praised Denver all week last week. We were throwing bouquets at Denver all week. We were throwing bouquets at Simeon all week. We were saying how great they look. They blew out the Cowboys. Simeon looks like a new quarterback. They got a running game now. They're a completely different team. But then they went on the road, and the NFL gods said, not so fast, as they lost to the Buffalo Bills. So Denver down to 2-1. Simeon did not play well at all. He looked like a lot of last year, Simeon. He did not play well at all. I didn't even like the way the Bronco defense played in this game. Buffalo, who had trouble moving the ball against Carolina, the whole game, moved the ball pretty well against that Denver defense. So Denver did not have a good road game at all. And how about Von Miller? He goes to pick up the Buffalo quarterback who's on the ground. He sticks his hand out. And as the Buffalo quarterback, Taylor, goes to give him his hand, what does Von Miller do? He pulls his hand away. Von Miller, are we in the 5th grade? Give me a break. Yeah, let's do that. That's great. Get a personal foul. Some of these players, just ridiculous moves. What a terrible play by Von Miller. So just awful all the way around by the Denver Broncos in this game after looking so good just a week before. And the Oakland Raiders, the same thing. They're down to 2-1. They got pushed all over the field by Washington on Sunday Night Football. Washington just beat up Oakland. Oakland looked like they left their game out west. Oakland was pushed around all game. At one point in the 4th quarter, I think Oakland had 70 yards of total offense. The Oakland Raiders, who move the ball at will against anyone, 70 yards against Washington. What is this, the steel curtain they were playing against? Washington mashed them. They physically just pounded Oakland. Oakland was just obliterated in this game. I was shocked at how easily Washington pushed Oakland around. So 2 teams that we thought were going to be very good, 2 teams we think are going to be contenders, both coming off bad losses. This is a very important game because the loser of this game goes to 2-2, and if Kansas City wins, and we'll get to them later, Kansas City could be 4-0 and have a 2-game lead on one of these teams, and the loser of this game could be in 3rd place. This division is going to cannibalize each other. This is a huge game already. Very tough game. I'm going to go Denver here. I don't like picking against Oakland. They've been so good to me the last year or so. But the way Denver's looked at home, especially against Dallas, I think Denver's going to pull it out. They're going to eke it out, maybe a 3-point win here. This is a nail-biter. It's a great game. It's a must-watch game. I could see the game going either way. I'll go Denver just because they looked so good at home. Raiders looked bad on the road last week. Very tough game, though. I'll go Denver in a nail-biter in a must-watch game, in a very big game. Listen, if you like the Raiders, I couldn't argue with you. It's that close, but I'll lean towards Denver just because they're so home-heavy this year so far. That win against Dallas really stands out to me. I think Denver at home will squeak it out. That's pick number 1. Pick number 2. Let's go up to Seattle, where the Seattle Seahawks are minus 13 against the Indianapolis Colts. Seattle down to 1-2, lost to Tennessee. Seattle finally got their offense going late, but by that time it was too late. Seattle is putting way too much pressure on their defense, put too much pressure on their defense early in this game, and Tennessee is a very physical team. They wore Seattle down. Seattle just really struggling right now. They just can't get anything consistently going. Indianapolis 1-2. They did hold on and beat Cleveland. They have looked better with Brissett at quarterback. This is a very strange... listen, you can't take the Colts, obviously, but the spread's 13, so what do you do with this game? You could throw it out. You think Seattle's going to win, obviously. But you can't go money line here because the money line's going to be too expensive, laying 13 and making it a money line. So you're going to have to risk like $1,000 to win 100 or something like that. You can't take Indianapolis because you don't feel too safe about them. So I guess you use Seattle here in a teaser, right? Maybe move the line down to 7. Maybe take Seattle that way. I think Seattle can win the game by about 10 points or so. But you got to think Seattle's going to win. And there's no way I'm taking the Colts on the road with Brissett. But it's a very strange game considering Seattle's 1-2 hasn't looked good and they're a 13-point favorite. We went through this 2 weeks ago when they played the Niners. We thought they'd blow them out. They win the game by 3 and you're sitting there going, what just happened here? This could be the same scenario. I'll take Seattle for purposes of the show. I'll move it to 7 in a teaser. I think they can at least win by 10. Seattle's got to show up here. Maybe they get a defensive touchdown. Seattle is pick number 2. Pick number 3. Let's go to Tampa Bay with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on -3 against the New York Giants. Tampa Bay 1-1 just got torched by Minnesota. I was shocked that Minnesota beat up Tampa Bay this bad. Listen, if you told me Minnesota was going to win, I couldn't argue with you. But Tampa Bay just got run over. Minnesota was dominant in this game, and Tampa Bay looked so good just a week ago. So Tampa Bay down to 1-1. How about Jackson for Tampa Bay, the receiver? Tampa Bay is down it's like 34-10, and Jackson scores a touchdown, and he's dancing. Didn't I just go through this last week with the players celebrating? I mean, already I've talked about Von Miller. Now you got Jackson. I mean, are you kidding me, Jackson? Down 34-17, and you're dancing after a touchdown? I mean, give me a break. Yeah, I'm the new fool in town, and now I'm going to do my dance down 34-17. This is the same Jackson that spiked the ball before he got into the end zone with the Eagles. Remember the movie Silver Linings Playbook when De Niro was making fun of Jackson? Yeah, he spiked the ball before he got into the end zone. Who does that? Well, who celebrates down 34-10? And now I'm going to do my dance. Give me a break. And the Giants, 0-3, lost to Philadelphia. Philadelphia kicked the big field goal at the end after the Giants had a furious rally to come back in this game. It's funny, the Giants had no points going into like the fourth quarter of this game. All of a sudden, the Giants explode. They take the lead. Philadelphia comes rallying back. The Giants have a bad punt, and that leads to the Eagle bomb of a field goal. And again, celebrations. I hate to keep harping on this, but Beckham, Odell Beckham Jr., who we all love, great player, makes tremendous catches, had a couple in this game, scores a touchdown, the first Giant touchdown. And didn't I say last week when the Giants scored their first touchdown, they got a taunting penalty and they had to, kick off, deep in their own end and set up a line touchdown? Well, once again, here we go. The Giants score their first touchdown of this game. Odell Beckham is walking on all fours, pretending he's a dog, and pretending he's a dog, with a fire hydrant, lifting his leg up. Gets a personal foul. Here we go again. I mean, are you kidding me, Beckham Jr.? That's what you're working on? Get a clue. And we all love Beckham. He's a great player. That's what he's doing? I mean, give me a break. Giants 0-3. This is a very strange game. I'm going to take Tampa Bay in the money line here. I think Tampa Bay is going to be better at home like they were in week 1. I think they're going to be better. I think they're embarrassed they lost to Minnesota the way they did last week. And the Giants, I just don't trust them. I know they look good in the fourth quarter. They made a furious comeback. But before that, they were anemic. They did nothing for 3 quarters. I'm going to go Tampa money line. I'm just going to say Tampa ekes it out. That's pick number 3. Pick number 4. Let's go to Baltimore. We have a real good division game here with the Pittsburgh Steelers, a -3 against the Baltimore Ravens. Pittsburgh down to 2-1 as they lost to Chicago. Nice run defense, Pittsburgh. Again, another bad road game for the Steelers, and these are the type of games that keep the Steelers from having home field advantage of the playoffs. If they end up going to New England in the playoffs and losing again, you can point back to games like this. They find ways to get sloppy on the road, Pittsburgh. At home, they can beat anyone. They look great. On the road, they can lose to anyone, and they look poor all the time. The run defense for Pittsburgh was like Swiss cheese. I think Chicago had 100 yards passing in this game and won the game because they ran the ball at will against Pittsburgh, including the overtime where they ran right down the field on the opening possession and put the ball in the end zone. Terrible performance by Pittsburgh. Baltimore 2-1. Speaking of bad performances, Baltimore went to London and got destroyed by Jacksonville 44-7. The same Jacksonville team that lost to Tennessee the week before, and the same Jacksonville team that we were saying had one of the worst offenses in football. The same quarterback, Bortles, who we were making fun of all week. Jacksonville hangs 44 up on Baltimore, and Flacco gets pulled. Nice performance, Baltimore. I mean, you gotta be kidding me. As far as this game, again, I've been saying it for 2 years. Pittsburgh is not the same team on the road. And here they are again, for the third time this season, favored on the road. They didn't look good against Cleveland. They pulled that game out. They didn't look good against Chicago. They lost. And here they are again, a favorite. These games are always close. These games are always three-point games. This is a division game, a very important game. Baltimore will play better when they see that Steeler jersey. Baltimore will play better at home. I'm moving the line to 9, and I'll take Baltimore in a teaser because I think the game's going to be very close. So I'll grab Baltimore, the 9, and the home field. Very, very good game. Pick number 5. Let's go to the big D in Dallas with the Dallas Cowboys, a -8.5 against the LA Rams. Dallas up to 2-1. I thought they would bounce back last night, and they did. They started slow, but they came back. Dallas pulled it out, looked good at the end of this game, so nice win by Dallas after the terrible performance in Denver. I still think Dallas is going to be one of the best teams in the NFC. Rams, how about the Rams? They're 2-1, hung on and beat the Niners. The Rams have scored over 40 points twice this year. That's hard to believe. I'm going to take Dallas here. Again, I'm going to go teaser. I'm going to move the line to 2.5. I have to think Dallas at home can handle the Rams and win by a field goal. I think the spread 8.5, listen, that may be too high. 2.5, I love Dallas at 2.5. Home, only got to win by a field goal. I know the Rams have shown improvement this year. They're not ready to go into Dallas and win this game. I'll take the Cowboys, move the line to 2.5. That's pick number 5. Pick number 6, let's go up to New England with the New England Patriots, a -8.5 against the Carolina Panthers. New England up to 2-1, beat Houston, and they were lucky to do it. New England was in big trouble in this game, and Brady pulled it out at the end, the big drive at the end, the pass to the corner there. Nice comeback by New England because they were on death's door in this game. Houston played a very spirited game. New England still has all sorts of problems on defense. You saw that again. You think they're going to figure it out, but right now New England's defense not doing very well. But they did pull the game out. We're very lucky to do it. Carolina, they're down to 2-1. They have issues now, Carolina. They got blown out by New Orleans at home, and then they got a lot of injuries now. Olsen is out for a while. That's a huge loss. Benjamin might not play in this game. Cam Newton has not looked good after having off-season surgery. Carolina's got some issues here. Again, I cannot like Carolina to go in and beat New England. So I'm going to move the line down again, like the Dallas game, to 2.5. And I got to figure New England is going to win the game by at least 3 points at home. So I'll take New England -2.5 in the teaser. I think New England will find a way. Carolina has all sorts of issues on offense right now. No Olsen. Benjamin might not play. Newton's looking a little shaky right now. That's not good enough to go into New England. Despite New England's problems on defense, I think New England will pull it out. That's pick number 6. Pick number 7. Let's go to Houston, Texas, I should say, with the Tennessee Titans, a -2 against the Houston Texans. Tennessee up to 2-1. They beat Seattle. This was a nice win for Tennessee. Nice litmus test for them. This is a game, if they want to get to the next level, they had to have, and they did it. I also like Tennessee, what they did after Mariota was hit out of bounds by Sherman. The Tennessee big lineman got in there, got right in Sherman's face, got right in there and said, "Don't do that to my quarterback." That's what I like to see. Tennessee's a physical team. They like to be physical. They want to protect their quarterback. They got in there, they got right in Sherman's face and said, "No, don't do that to my quarterback. We're here to play. Stay away from my quarterback." And I like to see that. Everyone in the NFL now is buddies with everybody. You know, you don't get too many guys going after each other anymore, but I like to see that Tennessee stood up for their quarterback. I like to see that. So Tennessee up to 2-1. Houston down to 1-2. Like I said, lost the heartbreaker to New England. I do like what I see from the quarterback of Houston, Watson. Listen, he was a tremendous quarterback in college. I think he's going to be a good pro. He did a lot of good things in this game. So Houston, that was a tough, heartbreaking loss. As far as this game, tough division game, Tennessee -2. Listen, I'm going to move the spread to 8, and I'll take Houston in a teaser. I think this game is going to be close. I've seen enough from the Houston quarterback to think he can make it close. Houston defense is usually always pretty good. If you tell me Tennessee's going to win, I can't argue with you, but I'll take the 8, thinking this game is going to be a touchdown one way or the other. I'll take Houston +8 there. That's pick number 7. Pick number 8. Let's go to Atlanta, where the Atlanta Falcons are -8 against the Buffalo Bills. Atlanta up to 3-0, hung on and beat Detroit, and they were oh so lucky. Detroit looked like they scored to take the lead, looked like they were going to win. They mark them down at like the inch line. Because Detroit has no timeouts, 10-second runoff, game ends. Atlanta escapes for the second time this year on the road. They escaped in Chicago, could have lost that game. Escaped here, could have lost this game as well. Good teams seem to find a way to do that. At the end of the year, if Atlanta has home field advantage, you can point back to those 2 games. They pulled them out, could have lost both of them. That was a very, very lucky win for the Atlanta Falcons. Buffalo, up to 2-1. Nice job by Buffalo at home. Denver played so well the week before against Dallas. Buffalo really played a good game. They moved the ball on offense. Buffalo's defense doing some things this year. I mean, they've held everyone, I think, to under 20 points. They could be 3-0. They were very close to coming back and beating Carolina in that game. So Buffalo has done a nice job. That being said, I'm not ready to pick Buffalo to go into Atlanta and win. I'll give them a lot of respect. They're 2-1. I'll give them respect with the point spread at 8. So I'll move that spread down again to 2. I have to like Atlanta here, just like Dallas and just like New England, to at least win by 3 points. I think Atlanta will get it done at home. They're better at home. I think this is too much for Buffalo in this spot. I would be shocked if Buffalo won this game. I'll take Atlanta. Move it down to 2. I think Atlanta can at least win by a field goal. That's pick number 8. Pick number 9. Let's go to the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Not too far from here, where the Jacksonville Jaguars, believe it or not, are -4 against the New York Jets. When's the last time Jacksonville was a 4-point favorite on the road? Jacksonville just obliterated Baltimore and London. This was the same Jacksonville team that the week before got destroyed by Tennessee. That's the NFL, up and down, week to week. I told you the first month of the season, we're still trying to sort this out. You still don't know what you have here. So Jacksonville 1 week looks great, 1 week looks bad. Now they look great again. So Jacksonville 2-1 overall. How about Bortles? He looked terrible 2 weeks ago. He was saying he was the worst quarterback in history. Last week he looks like Johnny Unitas. The Jets, give him credit. 1-2. Beat Miami and just shut down Miami. Miami didn't even have a touchdown until the last play of the game. The Jets owned this game from start to finish. The Jets, despite not having much talent, have played hard the first 3 weeks. They played hard against Buffalo, hung in the game before they lost. Hung in there the first half against the Raiders, then it all fell apart. And they played a nice, spirited game at home here. Good win by the Jets. Listen, I don't know if I'm ready to take Jacksonville -4 on the road. But I'm certainly not ready to take the Jets +4. That does nothing for me. So how am I going to take this game? I'll move the spread to 10 and take the Jets at home. I get home field advantage. I get the 10 points. I'm not ready to say Jacksonville is going to start blowing teams out on the road. I'm not quite there yet. I'm going to have to see Bortles do this more consistently. So I'll take a shot. I'll take the Jets +10 at home. I get the home field. I get the 10 points. So I'll go that way in this game. That's pick number 9. Pick number 10. Here comes a beauty of a game. Let's go to the dog pound in Cleveland, where the Cincinnati Bengals are -3 against the Cleveland Browns. Cincinnati 0-3. Did play better against Green Bay. Led for just about all of this game, but fell in overtime. They look better on offense, the Bengals, but you still look up and they're 0-3 and found a way to lose. Cleveland 0-3, and they lost to Indianapolis. Cleveland was actually a favorite on the road in that game. It's going to be another long year for the Browns. Plenty of seats available for this one. I think the Cleveland fans are more interested in the Indians right now or LeBron James' press conference. I don't think they're too interested in the Browns. I know it's a division game. I know it's a rivalry game. Plenty of seats available. I mean, who's going to this game? Anyone going to this game? I mean, this is not a game I'd be running to go to. Yeah, let's go to that Bengal-Brown game. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. My bags are packed. I want to go. Bengals-Browns on there. My bags are packed. Plenty of seats available. Off of last week, I thought the Bengals looked a little better. They moved the ball better. They could have easily beat Green Bay. They got a little unlucky. I'm going to go Bengals here. I don't love the game. To me, it could be a throwout. I mean, but I'll go Bengals just off last week that they looked improved, and I think they have more talent right now than the Browns. So I'll go Bengals there. That's pick number 10. Pick number 11. Let's go out to the desert where the Arizona Cardinals are -7 against the San Francisco 49ers. Arizona down to 1-2. Started strong against Dallas, but faded out. Arizona just doesn't look like they have it to me this year. Carson Palmer looks like he's getting old. Fitzgerald looks like he's getting old. They're not scoring a ton of points. What have they been, under 20 points every game this year? They're not as explosive. They got some talent on defense, with the corner and the safeties. They can sack the quarterback. They might be an 8-8 team, but I don't see big things from Arizona. San Francisco 0-3, lost to the Rams. I mean, it's going to be another 2-14 year for the Niners. Again, I'll go Arizona, move the line to 1. I'll take them in a teaser. I think they can get through here at home. Again, I don't love the game. I don't love giving 7 here. I don't like taking 7 here. So I'll move the line to 1. I got to think at home Arizona can handle the Niners by a couple points. So I'll take Arizona there to squeak it out. That's pick number 11. Pick number 12. Let's go out to Los Angeles, where the LA Chargers are -1 against the Philadelphia Eagles. The LA Chargers are again 0-3 as they lose to the Chiefs. I got a lot of messages last week that people loved the Chargers last week, and I was like, why? They always find ways to lose, and the Chiefs are a good team. The Chiefs are a very good team. Andy Reid's a good regular season coach. Why would you love the Chargers under any circumstances? They just always let you down. Rivers is throwing interceptions left and right. The Chargers just cannot be trusted. Philadelphia 2-1 had the nice win against the Giants with the bomb of a field goal at the end of the game after the Giants had that horrible punt. So the Eagles up to 2-1. They do lose Sproles for the year. That's a big loss for Philadelphia. As far as this game, I'm going to move the line to 7. I'm going to go the other way here. Take the Eagles +7 on the road. Chargers are always in these frenetic, wild games. Most of them are close. They find a way to lose all of them. So I'm going to think it'll at least be close. So I'll take the Eagles with a touchdown. Game could go either way, but I feel pretty confident Philly can stay within 7. So I'll take Philly there +7 out in LA. Let's go to pick number 13. Let's go to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. I can smell that barbecue going already. One of the greatest stadiums in all of the NFL. Some of the greatest fans in all of the NFL, where the Kansas City Chiefs are -6 against the Washington Redskins. Kansas City 3-0. Like I just said, they beat the LA Chargers. Kansas City's going to have a big-time regular season. It's going to come down to Kansas City and Andy Reid in the playoffs. Kansas City's going to be one of the best teams. They're going to be a contender. Can Andy Reid get it done in the playoffs? He was so close all those years with the Eagles, couldn't get the Super Bowl. Again, with the Chiefs, he has good teams. Can he get that elusive Super Bowl? Last year, the Chiefs had a nice season. They went out, though, to the Steelers, got pushed around in that playoff game. It's going to come down to Andy Reid in the playoffs. The Chiefs are going to have a big-time regular season, though. Washington up to 2-1. Very impressed with Washington. They came to play against Oakland, and they just mashed the Raiders. They stomped them into the ground. They pushed them around. The Washington line, which can be a very physical offensive line, they pushed Oakland around in this game. They really wanted this game. Washington, the last 2 weeks, has owned the line of scrimmage. So very impressed with Washington's performance the last 2 weeks. Again, I'm going teaser again here. These lines are so difficult either way. They don't do anything for me. I'm going to move the line to pick them and take the Chiefs at home, again, to eke it out. I feel confident that way with Kansas City at home even. I like that. The spread does nothing for me either way. These spreads are very tough. They're very tight. We're still trying to figure these teams out. I'll go Kansas City, pick them in that game. Very nice game, very tough game. I think the Chiefs eke it out at home. That's pick number 13. And then these last 3 games, I might have to pass on these last 3 games. All right, we got Minnesota at home against Detroit. Minnesota 2-1. They looked really good against Tampa Bay last week. Keenum looked like a different guy. We still don't know about Bradford. He may or may not play this week. Keenum, who was terrible against Pittsburgh, looked like Dan Marino against Tampa Bay. He was awesome. Minnesota played really well. Defense looks really good, like it was the beginning of last year. Minnesota, very nice win last week. Detroit 2-1, unlucky. Could easily be 3-0. Detroit is playing good football. This is a very even game. It's a toss-up game. There's no spread on this game, though, right now, because we don't know about Bradford. So right now, I can't give you a pick on this game because I don't even know what the spread's going to be. But it's a must-watch game. It's a very good game. I like the game. 2 good teams here. I think it's a very, very good game, but can't give you a pick right now. I don't even know what the spread is. And then pick number 15, we got the Thursday night game. You know I can't stand Thursday night football. Green Bay at home, -7.5 against Chicago. Green Bay up to 2-1, beat Cincinnati, was lucky to do so. They had to have a furious rally at the end of this game, pulled it out in overtime. Green Bay, I mean, they just, something's missing. But I say that every year about Green Bay, and then I look up and they win the division. They're in the playoffs, and last year they beat the Cowboys. So they always seem to find a way with Rodgers, but their defense not playing great at all. They don't have a big-time defensive team, and they got a lot of injuries all the time. There's always so many guys out for Green Bay, but they are 2-1. They did find a way to win. Chicago 1-2. You talk about up and down. This is why it's so hard to play, pick in the NFL. Chicago week 1 could have easily beat Atlanta. Then they go on the road and get bombed by Tampa Bay, the same Tampa Bay team that got bombed by Minnesota. Then they come back home, Chicago, and they run all over the Steelers and beat them in overtime. So what are you going to get here on the road again? You just don't know. Short week, rivalry game. I don't know. Again, I would lean teaser here, pick Green Bay -1. But to me, I don't like Thursday Night Football, so I may throw this out altogether. And then the last game, again, another London game. Here we go again with these London games. New Orleans -2.5 against Miami. I mean, what do you do here? New Orleans 1-2, beat up Carolina after looking atrocious the first 2 weeks. Miami 1-1, pulled out a nice win against the Chargers, then scored basically no points against the Jets the whole game. And you got Cutler at quarterback, and you're playing in London. And by the way, Miami, what kind of schedule? I know Miami's first game because of the hurricane got postponed. Miami had to go to L.A., then they had to go to New York, and now they have to go to London. What kind of scheduling is this by the NFL? So in 2 weeks' time, Miami is in L.A., and then they're over in London, the complete opposite end of the world. Who scheduled that? Miami hasn't even played a home game yet. That's why it's so hard to pick early in the season. I don't know what you're getting here. I'm passing on this game altogether. What do you do here? But again, the scheduling these London games, what are you going to get from them? You saw that last week. Baltimore gave up 44 points to Jacksonville in London. I mean, give me a break with these London games already. I mean, you just don't know what you're getting there, so I'm going to have to pass on that game as well. So there you go. You guys are all caught up. You guys are all set. It was just a wacky and wild week in the NFL last week. As far as my straight-up and money line picks, they were good. I was 5-2. But my teasers, I had the worst week of teasers I've ever had. 0-3 in my teasers. I've never had a week like that in my teasers. And they blew up in all different directions. I mean, I just got obliterated in the teasers last week. I mean, lost with Pittsburgh in a teaser, Miami, New England, and went on and on. So straight up and against the spread, money line, I was 5-2. You can't complain about that. But teasers 0-3 made me 5-5 for the week. 5-5 is not good enough. Got to do better with the teasers. Now, I was due for a bad teaser week. I've had great teaser weeks for 2 years straight. So I was due for a bad week, and that was a crazy week last week, especially with the early games. So we'll see how it works out this week. Like I said, bet light in September. We're still trying to figure this all out. You still don't know right now. We thought Denver was going to be great. They went on the road and fell flat on their face. Miami hasn't played a home game yet. Teams are up and down. Chicago is a great example of that. They look good at home. They look atrocious on the road. Same thing with the Steelers. Up, down. Atlanta, who we think is one of the best teams in football, they're 3-0. They could have lost 2 games. You just don't know right now. The NFL's week to week. We're taking it slow. We'll get there. We'll have it all figured out soon, hopefully. You guys are all set. You guys are all caught up. Thanks as always for you guys. Thanks for the support. Thanks for all the great messages. You guys stay happy, healthy, and safe. Pick a lot of winners. Make a lot of money. Enjoy the games. I'll talk to you next week. Take care.